Sugira, how am I supposed to get content? Do what I do, just put my face in the camera? No, but that's why I always say the podcast is the best, right? Because it's authentic. I'm not scripting it. We're not, This right now is a podcast. I always say every CEO you should have your own podcast. You should go and appear on other podcasts, which is what you're here for.
When the Queen came to the country, to speak directly to the Queen about domestic violence. So that's kind of my speaking. Keynotes, I do quite a bit for like corporates around Are You OK Day, around the 16 days of activism around the ending of violence against women. But that's kind of, in and around what I do. Don't really have a huge profile, I would say, in the Keynote space.
Are those paid events as well, or paid gigs?
Some of them are, most of them aren't.
Which is okay sometimes. Like I always say, like especially if it's in front of your target audience, or if it's in front of your tribe. I would like to say. I mean, I do that as well. We do some paid gigs for us as well in terms of getting, because we're in front of the right audience, and sometimes that brings in quite a lot of deal flow because you're speaking one to many. So it's quite powerful. Yeah,
definitely. And I suppose when you're passionate about something, you just go, yep, I'll do it. But ultimately, into the future, it would be great for it to be paid. I think the sector that I work in is undervalued and underpaid. There's not many other spaces where they would expect you to do things for free, but certainly in my in the DV space, that's what happens a lot.
And I think that's why, like you were saying, that podcast vision of yours, and this could be the start of that, just appearing on this show to talk about what women are going through and how we can prevent those things. But that's the reason we have podcasts, is to raise awareness on things like that. So if we can continue to raise that awareness through podcasting, then that's how even it helps with the keynote speaking. It helps raise the awareness, because it's like, wow, so many people will listen to your podcast having been experienced that, having gone through the trauma, or want to learn on how do we avoid that. And so that's why I feel like I always say every CEO you should have your own podcast. You should go and appear on other podcasts, which is what you're here for, which is good, which is great. So I think obviously that's going to be obviously maybe 2026. Your trajectory is podcasting and then speaking, and then that all flows into the business.
Yeah, definitely. And where are you based? And where's Anastasia based?
So we're both based in Sydney.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and see, I'd love to learn so much more from her and from you around this podcasting stuff. Like I said, it's pretty new to me, and I'm only I've only branched out into running my own business in September last year. So we're just on a year. So all of this, before that I was working at a uni for a decade. So everything you do inside a uni, there's like 100 bureaucratic layers. And to do podcasting, you have to, there's so many layers of approval. So really, this is all new for me, which is exciting, daunting, but exciting at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everything happens in perfect timing and in great alignment. So I'm pretty happy to put you through to, Anastasia. I'm sure she's going to be happy to have you on. Would have to look at her schedule from now up until next year to have you on the podcast. I'm pretty sure potentially we can get you before the end of the year if you're cool with it. Just like this, come an hour, 30, 40 minutes, and it's just about getting your story, talking about these issues. And I think her also as a woman, having gone through so much in life, that I think you guys will relate, and I think that's why you'd be a great guest. And I think it's just a great way to dip your foot in the water, sit back and be the guest, and just, get questions on your story. And then from there, I think it could be quite powerful. And then we can keep in touch in regards to if in the future, if you ever want podcasting, or if you also want keynote speaking, or some, we represent a lot of keynote speakers, put them towards opportunities and, have people reaching out on your behalf to get you booked in. So that's something to look at, in the next year.
Okay, awesome. That all sounds really cool. I really look forward to it. I think it's always cool when someone else draws your story out of you as well. In how a podcast does that, as opposed to me speaking my truth, which you kind of go, I don't know, where do I start on a Tuesday? So it is nice to have those prompting questions, and
And
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and that's where I find a lot of business owners struggle, because it's like, well, Sugira, how am I supposed to get content? Like, you know, I'm tired. What do I do? Just put my face in the camera? No, but that's why I always say the podcast is the best, right? Because it's authentic. I'm not scripting it. We're not.
Yeah.
This right now is a podcast, right? If we was to upload it, it's a podcast, so it's just that natural conversation. And so I've been in a position like you where I'll just go and I just ask people questions, like, you know, okay, what happened there? And then they get their stories. And I started with mum and dad doing it, right? And I'm like, Dad, you never told me this, you know, and now we're sitting on camera talking about it. And so that was really changing.
That's cool. That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, and you're exactly right. Everyone's got a story, but it's how we draw it out. And that's cool. Make it come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. Well, so what do you need from me? What's the best thing for me to do next?
Nothing. So what we're going to do is I will email Anastasia, and I'll have my assistant. She usually does all the logistics in, you know, just setting it up with Anastasia in terms of the timing. She'll send a link, and then you'll just have all the calendar stuff, and then just, you know, appear on the show, speak, and then, you know, it's a great way to build a relationship. So that's really it. As I said, I like it. And I'm happy to put you forward. So thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll look out for the emails.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Excellent.
Do you have any other questions?
Great to meet you. No, that's great. I look forward to it.
Cool. Nice to meet you as well. And thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. You too. See you.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, guys, for tuning into another meeting. So I had another meeting with a CEO there. You can see she's a year into the game, and she's done well, obviously, where she is. And so we help all of our CEOs with their podcast. We book in their guests. We build their personal brand. We get them with other people in different industries, just leading that mission and vision. This is how we get content. The way we get content is just by, you know, having a podcast. And for a lot of our CEOs, they are speakers. They want to be booked out in keynote speaking, and that's what we help leaders do. So if you feel that aligns with you, feel free to get in touch below, and we look forward to speaking with you.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're going to love that one.